Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of Fit Fueled Female. And yes, we're back in another city, but this time I'm recording from my rental car, waiting for my next meeting. At this point, it's basically where in the world is Kristen recording from now? Well, this time, San Jose, because nothing says balance like trying to recover from a nasty bacterial takedown while on another business trip. Let me catch you up, because real talk, y'all. Remember in episode 2 when I said I'd made it to the other side of COVID? Well, I may have spoken too soon. I flew back from Mexico City thinking the worst was behind me, already proud of myself for pushing through altitude, COVID lungs, and meetings in heels. But apparently, the universe said, hold my tequila, because within 24 hours of landing, Montezuma, yeah, she got her revenge. And I'm not talking just a little mild tummy trouble. I went 72 hours not able to keep anything down. Not water, not electrolytes, not even my trusted liquid IV, which I have been swearing by. I gave the BRAT diet my best shot. Bananas, immediate regret. Applesauce, disaster. Toast and saltines, oh my God, I just might cry if I see them again. This bug did not care about bland menu plans. It was violent, and I had a direct route between the bed and the bathroom, like I was training for some Olympic sprint. Bed, bathroom, cry, repeat. And of course, real life didn't pause, because of course it didn't. My daughter's dance recital was that weekend, and if you're a mom, you already know missing the recital is simply not an option. So I rallied. I curled her hair from the bathroom floor, mascara in one hand, peppermint tea in the other, praying I wouldn't puke in the car line, or worse, the auditorium. My in-laws in town and staying with us. While I crawled to the bathroom like a complete zombie, they held down the fort. Thankfully, they're amazing, but it still felt like I ruined everyone's weekend. And then there's the travel. After Mexico, I had to turn around and fly again. But instead of enjoying the weekend or resting with my family, I ended up in the ER. My husband literally caught me mid-fall. 3 bags of fluids, 5 strains of bacteria, including 2 types of E. coli and Shigella, and me lying in the hospital bed thinking, this is the sickest I've ever been in my life. Also me, oh my God, I'm missing so much work. And the kicker, it was a Monday. I never miss a Monday, except this one. This Monday started with an IV drip, not a dumbbell. So fast forward a few days. I somehow made it to the airport, and God bless that first class upgrade. Not because of the legroom, and let's be honest, I couldn't eat the meal, but because I needed a clear path to the bathroom. I was genuinely afraid I'd be that girl on the news. Flight makes emergency landing due to a code brown. Not exactly the brand I'm trying to build over here. And then the bridesmaids moment. I landed, I felt okay until I didn't. A minute from the hotel, I felt it coming. Then I hit a red light and I considered running it for a moment, but figured, oof, getting pulled over would likely delay me more. So I screeched into the hotel valet. I hadn't even checked in yet. I left my car on, door wide open, ran to the front desk, looked at the girl dead in the eye, and said, restroom now, please. I made it. Just barely. And the best part, I walked out like nothing had happened. Hair flip, ready to check in. But the chaos didn't stop there. I had back-to-back meetings, happy hour, and a full day ahead. And trying to find bland food on the road, a total scavenger hunt. Typically, I'm a warrior when it comes to finding healthy options on the road. I've mastered airport protein bars, hotel gym hacks, you name it. But this was a challenge even for me. Okay, picture this, y'all. Me walking through a Whole Foods like it's a medical mission, desperately scanning for bland options. I finally settle on jasmine rice in a bag and oatmeal. Victory! Except my hotel room doesn't have a microwave. I told him the full story at the front desk: bacteria, hospital, saltines only diet. Bless the woman who took pity on me and found me a microwave. And then I reached my breaking point. At 5 a.m., I called my husband in tears. I can't do this, I told him. I just don't have it in me today. And for the first time in a long time, I let go. I adjusted my day. I still showed up, but not at 100%. And honestly, that had to be enough. Somewhere between praying I'd survive the flight and swearing off applesauce and toast for life, it hit me. I wasn't in charge. Not of my body, not of the timing, not of anything. Which brings me to my first lesson. You can't control everything, no matter how hard you try. Let me just say this, y'all. I tried. I really tried. I didn't drink the water. I didn't have the ice. I didn't eat the salad. I brushed my teeth with bottled water like a cautious queen. I watched everything that went into my body while I was in Mexico. And still, my body was like, cute effort. Here's 5 strains of bacteria and a front row seat to your own demise. Even when I thought that I was doing everything right, being careful, being intentional, being in control, my body clearly had other plans. It overruled me hard. And I think that's what hit me the most. Because when everything feels chaotic, what do? We try to tighten our grip. We cling to control like it's a life raft. But here's the thing. Control can feel like safety until it becomes a burden. It can weigh us down, wear us out, and trick us into thinking we can outplan reality. So to all my control freaks out there, yes, I see you. And yes, I am one too. There's only so much we can control. And trying to do it all perfectly, unfortunately, doesn't protect you from life. It just exhausts you before life even hits. Sometimes your body reminds you in the most brutal way possible, let go. You were never steering the whole ship anyway. And honestly, that ship didn't need your laminated itinerary and color-coded planner to stay afloat. It just needed you to sit down, shut up, and sip some electrolytes. Or at least try to. But here's the part that really got me. I wasn't just trying to control my environment. I was trying to outsmart chaos, to outrun uncertainty, as if being prepared enough, healthy enough, smart enough would somehow make me untouchable. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. No matter how careful we are, how tightly we grip, or how many probiotic gummies we pop, life still happens. And sometimes the bravest, boldest thing you can do is surrender. Not give up, just loosen the white knuckle grip on trying to manage every outcome. Control might feel powerful, but learning to let go, that's next level strength. So yeah, lesson learned. Control is cute until your stomach has other plans. But if that was the first gut punch, lesson 2 hit even harder. Because once I surrendered control, I had to face something way more uncomfortable. Who am I when I can't do anything? No output, no performance, no producing. Just me, in sweatpants, barely functioning. So let's talk about that. Lesson number 2, you are not what you produce. It's so easy to attach our identity to our output, to believe our value lives in our to-do list. Like, if we just do one more thing, we'll finally be enough. Or that our worth is something to earn, not something we already carry. But let me ask you something. What happens when all of that is stripped away? Because when I was flat on my back, weak, dehydrated, and barely moving, there was no producing, no managing the house, no laundry, no work deliverables, and no crushing it. But in that silence, I had to face something I think that a lot of us avoid. If I'm not producing, am I still enough? The answer, yes. But believing that takes real work. And here's where it gets real for me, because this isn't just about me anymore. I think about my mom. She passed away years ago, and I miss her every single day. She was smart, beautiful, strong, and fiercely devoted to her family. But she was also constantly stressed, constantly doing, trying to hold everything together for everyone. She gave and she gave and she gave. And somewhere in that giving, she stopped protecting her center. And while stress didn't cause her illness, it sure didn't help. And I don't share that to take away from who she was, because she was amazing, truly. But I share it because I think deep down, she'd want to be a lesson. Because here's what I've come to realize. You are the sun. Everything else, your work, your routines, your people, they're the orbit. They revolve around you. And if you burn out, everything else starts to wobble. So why do we treat ourselves like an afterthought? Why do we keep pushing, giving, proving, producing, when sometimes what we really need is to step back and just be? You have to protect your center, because when everything else falls apart, the calendar, the image, the expectations, you're the one who still has to be standing, rooted, steady, and whole. So no, you are not what you produce. You are you. And that's the most powerful, irreplaceable thing you'll ever bring to the table. And that leads me to this week's power move. Recenter yourself. This week, I want you to audit your orbit. Not your tasks, not your schedule, your orbit. What's revolving around you right now that's stealing your energy, but not fueling your fire? It could be a project, a group chat, or an obligation you said yes to when you should have said no. Take inventory, and then I want you to do one bold thing. Reclaim that center. Say no, reschedule, ask for help, or simply rest. Not because everything is done, but because you are worth preserving, even when nothing gets checked off. Your power move isn't about output, it's about ownership. You don't hold up the universe, but you are the sun in your world. Massive, radiant, and magnetic. You fuel everything around you. So protect your energy like your life depends on it, because sometimes, y'all, it does. So before we wrap, I want to wrap with what's been fueling me. Honestly, this week, it's not a product this time. It's not a protein powder, green juice, or some magical supplement. It's my kids. My daughter, just 4 years old, looked at me the other day with that sweet little face and said, "Mommy, when I grow up, I want to be strong like you." Cue the waterworks. I told her she is already so strong and mighty because let me tell you, y'all, that girl, the world better watch out. Side note, a few hours later, that same beautiful child informed me that I was a bad mommy and she didn't like me. And direct quote, "I don't like your hair, mommy." All because I told her it was time to come inside. Motherhood, keeping you humble since forever. And then there's my son, 6 years old, with the sweetest of souls. He didn't leave my side while I was sick. He just curled up next to me on the couch, looked up at me with those big, beautiful blue eyes, and whispered, "Mommy, are you okay? It's going to be okay, Mommy." Oh my gosh, y'all, these kids, absolutely priceless. So that's what's been fueling me this week. Not the caffeine, not endorphins, just the quiet reminder that I'm their safe place and they're mine. Well, that's it for today's episode of Fit Fueled Female. If you've made it this far, thank you, truly. We just crossed 50 streams, and honestly, that may not sound like much, but to me, it's everything. Every download, every message, every share, it means the world. I started this to help just one woman feel a little more seen, a little more supported, and a little more like herself again. So thank you for being a part of that. And if you haven't already, please hit the follow button, leave a review, send it to a friend who might need it, because we're just getting started, y'all, and I am so glad you're here for it. Oh, and hey, next week, we may just have our very first guest joining the show, a total powerhouse of a woman, and trust me, you're going to want to hear her story. So stay tuned. And as always, stay fit, stay fueled, and I'll see you next time.